Hi, I'm Carly and welcome back to Farmer Analytics. Today I'm going to show you what's growing on our 10-acre farm here in Vermont. It is almost August. We are right at the end of July and there is so much in bloom. There's so many things growing, filling our harvest baskets, and we even have some animals that are growing. So let's check it out. I'm out here in our greenhouse and our tomatoes are just finally starting to blush, which is so exciting. This is actually the point that I take them and harvest them and bring them inside, just so that they don't get too squishy out here, nothing gets to them as they ripen, and I can kind of take them in at their peak and let them finish ripening on the counter. It only takes a couple more days. The green beans are also out of control at this point. We just have green beans everywhere. And maybe just a couple more. I'm only gonna pick enough for dinner tonight. We just did a really big green bean preserving day a few days ago, so I'm gonna give myself a little break before a next big harvest. But we definitely want to have some tonight for dinner. Not quite sure what happened with this tomato, but it's got some kind of finger growing off of it. I can't believe how tall this pepper plant has gotten. There are no peppers on it yet, but I'm just impressed by the height. And I've never grown a pepper this tall before. There's tomatillos everywhere. They're coming in really nicely. They're all these little balloon-like structures. And I had quite a bit of trouble with these tomatillo plants here, specifically because of my friend right here, if I can get him to stay. That is the three-lined potato beetle. And they just absolutely love to eat our tomatillo plants. And these plants have gotten quite a bit of damage from this pest. But what I did a little earlier in the season was spread diatomaceous earth all over these tomatillos. And it seemed to have kind of held them off. I can still see a lot of damage happening. So it's probably time to do another go through where I remove all the leaves that have any larvae on them. And I spread, again, that diatomaceous earth on the leaves because it really did help and it allowed these guys to get a head start. But it's definitely time again. I'll show you why. And the danger with these guys is that they not only eat the leaves back, which really damages the plant, but they also chew the whole skin off of the outside of the tomatillo before it fully develops. you end up losing the entire piece of fruit to them because they have eaten this piece here. It's hot in that greenhouse, so we're gonna head over to the outdoor garden and check on our zucchini plants and our yellow squash. We're out in the squash corn area, and the corn has gotten so tall in the last couple weeks. It's actually starting to tassel now and put on some cobs. So excited about this. This is the furthest we've gotten corn so far in the past couple years, so this really feels like a win at this point that they're this tall and this healthy. So we'll see what happens. We're really hoping for some nice sweet corn out of this. In the front we also have our sorghum, which is looking pretty good too, and I'll bring you over there. Now that I'm over here, I'd argue that the sorghum might be even taller than the corn at this point. It grows really interestingly. It has grown really skinny and tall here, and for each plant there are multiple stalks, so we're seeing it come up really tall and then kind of sprout out, and we'll see. We are growing these essentially for the seeds at the top, which you can grind down into like a sorghum flour or something like that. So we're excited to see how these continue to grow and produce. The meat birds are still out on pasture. They are actually being processed next week. We did a small round this week for the bigger size birds, and then the rest will go to processing next week. And we do all our own processing here on farm, which really feels full circle for us, where we get to raise them here, humanely dispatch them here, and then they go right into our freezers. And we are just so blessed to be able to do this on our land. You can see that they're currently moving away from us and nicely fertilizing the field right behind them. And that's going to help our pastures for everything else that we raise on here, like our goats that we're going to be using for dairy. And the fact that they're providing not only food for us, but also providing fertilizer for our fields is really a dual purpose for having them out here on pasture. Plus we know they love that fresh grass and that fresh pasture every day. They get to eat bugs and scratch around and eat grass, and it really again feels full circle for us here on our farm. All right, we're gonna drop this harvest off inside where it's cool, and we're gonna go check on some little babies that we have growing. Hatch these from our own laying hens. All we really needed was our rooster and an incubator. And if you have a broody hen, you don't necessarily need an incubator. You can just slide them under that broody hen and do it that way. You also don't necessarily need a rooster. You can also order hatching eggs, which are fertilized eggs that you then can put right into your incubator and hatch them out yourselves. So in this case, we had a rooster and an incubator, so we just took eggs right out of the nest box and put them right into our incubator right away, and we let those incubate for about 21 days. And the incubator keeps it just at the right temperature, and it keeps rotating those eggs so that they get the right amount of movement and humidity, and they, after 21 days, start hatching. Now these guys will grow up over the next year here, and they will hopefully be laying eggs for us by either late fall or next spring. We are so excited for these new birds to join our flock. A lot of our birds are 5-6 years old at this point, and they're just not laying eggs anymore for us, which is okay. They've done their time here, and they will continue to live their life here, but no longer provide us much, and that's okay. So we'll bring in some new chicks this year and with these guys and add them to the flock, and hopefully have even more eggs next year. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time.